I wanted to just quickly put a link on here and explain one of the ways that DeltaMath does things a little differently than we do in our class. We've done end behavior. We do end behavior on that chart. Remember, whether it's positive or negative, or whether it's odd or even. And they're just going to ask you to do end behavior based on a graph instead, because their algebraic end behavior is not the same as our chart. And the way that they do their math language, the way that they write it, is significantly different than our class. So I just wanted to make sure I did a quick video just to explain what they're doing so that you knew how to do these questions instead. So when you look at the end behavior of this graph, in our class, we've learned that this end behavior is up and down, because on the left it points up and on the right it points down. But when you look at their answer options, they're not even close to the whole up, down, up thing that we've done. So I just wanted to go over it with you. Their math language uses approaching. That arrow that you see over and over again is the way that we say approaching. So and all of these start the same way: as x approaches infinity. As x approaches infinity means to the right. Okay, your x values go to infinity on the right. So what they're asking first for is the right end behavior. And if you look at this graph, this right end behavior over here is down. And so looking at your options, this first one says as x approaches the infinity, positive infinity, which means right, y approaches positive infinity. And it does not. We just kind of established that it goes down. So based on the fact that the right end behavior is down, it can either be this second option or this fourth, because on the right, y does not go to positive infinity like the first and third options. Then the next part they say is as x approaches negative infinity. X approaching negative infinity means the left part of the graph. And according to this picture on the left, your graph is pointing up, which is positive infinity. So again, we're looking for the option that has negative infinity for y on the right, which were the first, or the second and the third, excuse me. And again, on this graph, we want positive infinity on the other side. So between this second and fourth options, the one that says that y is approaching positive infinity on the left is this second one. So I'll say that one more time. Over here, it says as x approaches positive infinity. That means to the right, as x is going to the right. And on the right side of this graph, it points down, which is why I chose y approaches negative infinity. And as x approaches negative infinity, which means to the left, over here it's pointing up, y approaches infinity. So you have to be really careful just with their math language so that you know exactly what they're trying to say. And I think you probably should be okay because you've done end behavior graphically. They're just not reading it off of a chart. I just wanted to make sure I cleared that up in case you were confused by the language. As always, though, DeltaMath does an amazing job explaining it. In fact, I'll do one more really quick so you can see what I mean. Let me just make sure I get this one wrong. Try this one. When you have this issue and you get it wrong, take a second and look at that explanation. I think some of you with the remainder theorem earlier this week, you kind of got bogged down by the directions. Again, that was something we talked about a lot over this chapter. Make sure you take a little bit of time, look at the answer, look at their explanation and your answer, and that might clear up some error. If not, you're more than welcome to email me, send me a message on Remind, and I'll do what I can to help you. Stay safe, guys.